Okay, this is March the 12th of 2014, and I have been 12 days without a single cigarette. I've been using my vapor pen, and that's it. And I still have absolutely no cravings for a cigarette. These juicy little things are actually helping me out a whole lot. Um, I know that there's a lot of talk going on about that uh, they're wanting to regulate. Washington's wanting to ban them in public use, and you hear so many negatives about what is in the juice. Oh, it's got this chemical from antifreeze in it, and even though it has a chemical that is used in antifreeze, which is also used to make the antifreeze less poisonous, that's the cry of the FDA. We haven't been able to test these, and there are people who have been doing this now for about 6, 7 years, and I've seen their videos on YouTube where they had their chest X-ray when they were still smoking normal cigarettes, and then go back in and have another chest X-ray done after they've been doing the vaporizers or the e-cigs for 2 or 3 years, and their lungs actually look a whole lot healthier than they were. Even their doctors say that the lungs look better. Um, I don't really see a downside to that, honestly, and yet everybody wants to get on the bandwagon of saying that these are bad. It's just like the whole marijuana debate. Oh, do we legalize it? Do we make it illegal? Do we keep it illegal? Do we legalize the thing? Marijuana is a naturally grown plant. It sprouts out of the dirt. It grows to 8, 10, 12, 14 feet tall. You roll it up and you smoke it. Um, it's not a gateway drug. The only reason that most people move from marijuana to crack, crank, speed, heroin, black tar heroin, cocaine, whatever, is because they want something harder than what the marijuana will give them. Most potheads, and I've done some toking in my time, um, the only thing it ever led me to was eating a Twinkie. I mean, come on. Seriously? Once you legalize something, you're going to get idiots that go out and get it and think, oh, well, I can do this and I can do that. And most of them have never even smoked it 90% of the time. You can't lay the idiocy of a few onto the populace that it actually is helping. Um, if the natural essence of a joint can help someone with glaucoma or cancer or whatever, let them have it. It's no different than these. If these help a nation to get away from inhaling carbon monoxide, ashes, charcoal, and turning their lungs into basically charcoal briquettes, then what's the problem? When the government starts sticking its nose into things that technically is none of its concern, which would be your personal choice as to what you want to do. If you want to leave cigarettes and go to something like this, then, or an e-cigarette, either one, or the e-pipe, or the e-cigar, then it's your choice. It should not be the choice of the government to be able to tell you this isn't good for you or this is a bad idea. It should be your own personal choice to choose whether you want to use these things or just say, well, I'm going to attempt to quit cold turkey, or I'll use those lovely little patches that technically don't work. Um, some people they do work for, yes. Others they don't. I tried the patches. Hey, they just don't work for me. The patches are not for everybody. Um, some people even do hypnosis, and it works for them. I'm not real big on hypnosis, so I don't really see me going and having that done. This does several different things. One, it keeps me from wanting to go out and buy a pack of Marlboro or Camel or whatever. Um, and number two, it keeps me from eating a whole lot. Um, you can say that it's kind of sort of like a dietary supplement on top of everything else. Because when you attempt to try to quit smoking, as anyone who has attempted to quit smoking knows, the first thing you'll do is you'll get gripey, bitchy, very, very moody, and extremely hungry. You will eat everything. Um, and of course, in that process, you're going to gain 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds, which is not a good thing. Um, these, on the other hand, and I'm sure the others probably work the exact same way because they all run on juice. Um, because they have that berry or that watermelon or the cherry or whatever flavoring you might have, they have that little bit of sweetness to it that for whatever reason, when you're a smoker and you attempt to quit, the first thing you want is anything that deals with sweets. Whether it be candy, cookies, or it don't matter. You want something sweet. These curb that. Um, you don't want it. You can sit there and look at a bag of cookies and look at this and take a couple of hits off this and go, no, I don't really want the cookies. And I don't see a problem with that. So you get two actual upsides to the fact that, number one, you're no longer putting tar and pesticides and herbicides and carbon monoxide and God knows what else into your body, but you're also attempting to make yourself healthier in the fact that you're not eating more than you normally would. Um, you'll eat some, yes, you'll eat breakfast, you'll eat lunch, you'll eat dinner. Maybe you'll have yourself a snack. Big deal. But you won't find yourself emptying your refrigerator in 3 days when it should have lasted you a week. Um, another thing that I found is I can go outside, I can walk around now, and if I happen to have to run somewhere real quick because something's going on that I need to get to, I can actually take off in a sprint, and I'm not out of breath when I get there. And I've only been on this for 11 days. So it obviously has helped me in a whole lot more ways than a lot of would think it would. Um, again, this is just a short little, probably going to wind up being 10 minutes or more rant, but my channel, if I want to rant, I can. It just it boggles my mind at the stupidity of just a few to want to knock in the head something that is actually helping tens of thousands of people, if not hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, I don't know how many people do this. I'm guessing a couple of million at the least. Now, whether that be just worldwide or just in this nation, I have no idea. But it's definitely a big help on my part for me, and I don't have to worry about falling asleep with a cigarette between my fingers. If I happen to be so tired, I'm sitting there trying to have the last one before I go to bed, take a couple of puffs off this thing, lay it down, go to bed. This will not set your bed on fire. Oof. You know, it doesn't have an ash, and it's not going to. Even if you mash the button, it's only going to last for about 7 seconds, and it's going to cut itself off. So there's a whole lot of ups to this that a normal cigarette don't have. Now, granted, you can say, well, you're just some, guy from Alabama who has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. Well, yeah, I am from Alabama. That's true. But it's no different than going to any doctor and telling them, well, I have a pain here, and they tell you, well, it's just nothing, just don't, just do this and you'll be all right. And a week later, hey, look, I've still got this pain. Oh, it's nothing, it's nothing. Hey, look, you're the only one that knows what's with your body. And if something works to allow you or help you with yourself, or to allow you to do things that you couldn't do 2 weeks ago or a week ago or whatever, then do it, in my personal opinion. As long as it's something that's actually bettering you, not something that's going to put you deeper down in a pit. These things work for me. They may not work for everybody. Hey, they're not going to work for everybody. But then when you go into a vape store and you go to buy one of these, if they're really, really up to date on what they're doing, the first thing they will ask you when you go to buy the juice for this, and this will show you whether they really actually give a damn or if they're just there to make money, they'll ask you how many packs of cigarettes you used to smoke in a day, or how many you do smoke in a day. And they'll judge that figure by the amount of nicotine level in your juice. Now, if you look at mine, where am I at? There we go. Don't know if you can see that or not. This goes from 0 to 36. Now, granted, they tell you not to go over 25, but some places will actually go up to 36 on their nicotine level. And if you look, if I can get it in there so you can see it, that number that's circled right there, that's 18. And that's the level that I use. I use level 18. In other words, it's about, give or take, 2%. Which is about what I was doing, because that's around about a pack to a pack and a half a day. And pretty much out of one full tank, which this one's just about gone, but out of one full tank, that's about a pack to maybe 2 packs. That's the reason that there's still some left. I usually get about a day and a half out of a tank. And of course you can get about 5 or 6 tanks out of a bottle of juice. I mean, this is a 10 milliliter juice bottle, and this is a 2.5 milliliter tank, which I fill pretty much almost up, and I can get a little over a day and a half, sometimes 2 days out of a tank. It just depends. Of course, just like anything else, when you're attempting to quit, some days are not that bad, some days are. So some days you're only going to do a partial tank. Some days you're going to do a tank and have to fill it back up because you're just in that kind of mood. Pardon me. It just depends. I mean, it's a natural thing to desire after something that you're already addicted to. It's no different than somebody that's in NA. You go to like a Smokers Anonymous thing or Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, and they're pretty much as supportive as they can possibly be about it. You go to a Narcotics Anonymous, they're pretty supportive about everything that goes on in there because they're all trying to better themselves. No different than most AA meetings. They're all trying to better themselves. You don't see very many Smokers Anonymous going on. As a matter of fact, there are none, at least none that I know of anyway. So it's not like, people look at, smokers as, well, you're addicts. And in all honesty, technically some of us are. because you're addicted to the nicotine. That's why these things have nicotine in them. Um, it just, it's no different than any other drug. You get addicted to it. Alcohol, you are addicted to the alcohol. It's not the taste of the beer. It's not the taste of the bourbon. It's not the taste of the whiskey, which I still drink whiskey or bourbon, but I don't get drunk. I have a drink every now and then. Big whoopee. I used to drink like a fish. Um, no different than Narcotics Anonymous. Those guys that go to there, and the women too that go there, some of them were shooting up black tar heroin, some of them were only smoking pot. It just depends on their level. But they're not judgmental toward each other, at least not normally. I'm pretty sure there probably are some cases where they do. Well, I was this, and you're only smoking pot. What's your big deal? But which I'm sure I'll probably catch some flack off that little statement. But oh well. And honestly, it's truth. But with these, it's the same thing. You're not going to walk into somewhere unless it's like a vape shop and not catch crap over the fact that you're vaping, especially nowadays. Oh, we don't want secondhand vapor. It's water vapor, folks. It's just vapor. Well, you don't want secondhand vapor. Well, you don't want secondhand smoke. Well, secondhand smoke, I can understand. Secondhand vapor, if you're going to sit there and say that you don't want secondhand vapor, then you might as well ban people breathing in public. How about that one? The government wants to ban them in use in public because it's just we don't want people seeing people doing that. We don't want to set a bad example for our children, and we don't want people having secondhand vapor inhaled into their lungs. Here's a thought. This is what you get when you smoke one of these. That's just vapor. Within just a few seconds, that's totally dissipated. It's gone. It's nowhere to be seen. It evaporates. Cigarette smoke, on the other hand, in a closed room like this, will hang around for quite a while until the doors open and some of it gets sucked out or whatever. These don't hang around. They evaporate into the air that's here. That's it. That's all they do. So the congressmen and the congresswomen and the senators who want to ban these need to think one thing. You should be ashamed of yourselves when you go and take a shower in your home and you get done and you walk out of your bathroom and the steam rolls under the door and out into the rest of your house. Then you should be ashamed that you're exposing your wife and your children, and probably your maids if you have them, or your butlers if you happen to have them, which I'm sure some of them do, to secondhand steam. It's the same thing. This, you're breathing out of your lungs, which, okay, maybe if you have a cold, you might endanger somebody sitting next to you. I'll give them that one. But you just washed yourself in the shower and all that steam. So do you not think that maybe that steam could possibly be contaminated with your bodily nastiness? And now you're spreading it to whoever's in the house with you. Now that's kind of a kooky little analogy, but in truth, it's a good argument. If you're going to argue that these things are bad for you, that you don't want somebody getting secondhand vapor, then you need to think about when you get out of your shower at your house. And if you really want to get technical about it, then you need to just ban people breathing in public at all. Make us all wear gas masks and little, self-contained breathing apparatuses to be able to walk around in. except for, breathing in our own houses, which is, some people are even trying to outlaw smoking in your own house. Really? Is that the country we've become? You're going to ban smoking in our own homes. You're going to ban us from smoking in our own cars. I don't get it. I really don't. I know I've bounced around a whole lot in this little rant, but I felt like I needed to do it, and if I catch flack over it, I catch flack over it. We still have that lovely little, amendment that says freedom of speech, so this is my speech. And, you don't have to like it. You don't have to comment on it. Or you can comment on it. It's your choice. That's why we're here. That's why any of us are here, no matter who it is. Any of these e-cig guys or any of these vaporizer YouTube channels, the women and the men that do these things, that's what we're here for. We're sharing a little bit of knowledge. We're giving our opinion about certain things. And if we catch flack over it, we catch flack over it. If we don't, we don't. Of course, most of them don't go off on 22-minute rants, but mine's coming to an end in about another 30 seconds. So anyway, if you feel like you want to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to. I'm hoping to build up some followers. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. But hopefully you'll like the video, and hopefully you'll subscribe to it. And otherwise, just stay tuned. I'll have something new in a couple of days, and just keep on vaping.